I allow myself to be my best self, to be creative, and to let go. I allow myself to live a creative life, to stay focused and clear, all toward the goal. I allow myself to go in and to grow. I allow myself time and space. I allow. I allow myself to feel, to express myself, and to use the talents I possess. I allow myself to make love out of the things that are not love. I allow myself to be creative in the moment. I allow. Yes, 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 yes. I allow. I allow. Yes, it's time again to allow. When we allow, we let things happen that are naturally going to happen because nature follows the path of least resistance. Water does not attempt to go uphill. The wind blows in the way it naturally blows. Birds follow the currents of the wind. Follow the currency. See the current. See the current. Be in the current place right now. And this is the currency. This is what we are creating at this particular time. We're very creative people. And we've always been creative people. It's just that times we pretend that we're not as powerful and as creative as we actually are. I'd like to welcome everybody who's here. If you're here for the first time, please put it in the chat that you're here for the first time and where are you? Where are you on the planet? I know we've got folks here who are listening in from all corners of the world and possibly the universe. I'd like to thank you all for investing this time for this fifth class of The Enemy Within. We're doing this class because of popular demand. We were asked to continue because there's so much to uncover in this particular subject about dealing with the parasitic energy, dealing with the things in life that could create resistance and cause us to go against the natural flow. There's a natural flow in life. There's a natural flow in nature. And when we are in the natural flow of nature, we do better. But we have been programmed to live in a plastic world and to pretend that we're something that we're not. Pretend is a very special word that can be used in many ways. We were, taught as children to pretend. There's a lot of things that we were taught to pretend. But this can work for you or against you, depending on where you are and what you're pretending. So today we're going to pretend that we're in full control of our lives, or we're taking full control of our lives. And I'd like to welcome you if you're here for the first time on one of these classes. If you are here for the second time, welcome once again. For those of you who have been part of this series, it's been great. It's been a wonderful journey, learning, even for myself, new research. I mean, a lot of times you feel like you know something. You've studied it. You studied it in school. But did you know when you look at something again, it looks different? Have you noticed that? Old books that we read, we know I've read the Four Agreements. I read Outwitting the Devil and Think and Grow Rich. And, I read This Is Your Brain on Parasites. I've read all these books, but have you noticed that when you read them again, they've changed? Have you noticed when you hear a story again, it's changed? When you feel something, right, from your memory, it's changed. In fact, a lot of what you're feeling, right, about the past is not actually the feeling from the past, it's the feeling of now about the past. For a lot of us, the enemy within is us being caught in the past and thinking that we know because it's concrete what had happened in the past. If we read a book, we know about it. Oh, I read that, Dr. B. People tell me they've read a book and they've studied it and they're using the concepts of the class, but as they're talking to me, they are actually doing the opposite of what they say and they've learned. This is because we've got to relearn. We've got to relive each day. We should not pretend that we know everything. Another thing that we have to be careful with is pretending that we know people. You know how people are. I keep hearing this about what you've got to do on these social media platforms. You know how, well, people don't want. People want you to. People are going to believe. People don't believe. People feel. We don't really know most people. When you know yourself, but you don't know your opposition or your enemy in life, then you may win the battle for today. But in the long run, you will not win the whole war. If you think you know your enemy, but you don't truly know yourself, you may win the battle. You may win the fight. You may win the argument. But in no way will you win the war. Because you must know thyself and know thy enemy. In other words, know the opposition, know about resistance, know about the flow, know about currency. You have to know about it again today. You've got to relive it today. You've got to study it again today. Just because in the past you did, people tell me, well, Dr. B, I did a parasite cleanse in the past. Listen, the bugs that are here right now that are bugging you mentally, physically, even electronic bugs. You got electronic parasites now that are eating your brain alive. It's a daily process to grow and to change. It's a daily process to eat the best foods, to meet the best people. How many of you are allowing relationships from the past to have a power, to give it equity, to give it something today? We've got to realize we're in a renaissance period, especially on the planet. People are going through a renaissance. This is a big change. This is a shift. This is the reset. You know, you get to choose the reset. I keep hearing about the reset, the reset. Well, what about your reset? You got a reset button. Each one of us have a reset button. When you are realizing that the true battle is the one within you as a person, within each of us, within we. Now we got something here. Because we are challenged by the world every single day. We're challenged. We think we know. I got this down, Dr. B. You know, I made it. I know what success is. Guess what I did, Dr. B? Guess what I've created? Guess what I've gained? A lot of us are gaining things that may not be the best. We're using things. We're using mask. We're covering so much. And we're not looking into this moment in this time where we've got to relive and relearn and look at the resistance within ourselves. The true art of war is not about fighting an external enemy. It's about dealing with, learning to negotiate with. The true enemy is within ourselves. We're always looking for a demon or evil or someone to blame things on. And that's our society. We cover up what's real. We have these coverings. We look a certain way and act a certain way and live a certain way. We pretend that there's not an issue within us, but it is. So right in our homes, right in on our beds, in our own minds, in our own hearts. That's where the true enemy is at. So today we're going to go in much deeper than we've gone before. Um, if you have been here, um, if you've been in these classes before, you kind of know how this goes. And if you've never been here before, that you just need to know that this is a different way of teaching. Dr. B just has a different way of showing up. I'm showing up with myself today, and actually, I had to. When I woke up, I knew exactly how I was going to teach this class, but it's changing as the moment goes. It's changing. I'm going to show some slides, and it's going to be a bunch of them. I actually made more slides than I actually need, but this subject got so deep when I started looking at it on so many levels. And I said, I've taught these classes before, but I've never taught them now. I've lived before, but I've never lived now. Each one of us is going through this time of shift and change, and this revolution, this evolution, this renaissance is happening now. So listen carefully. And instead of pointing the finger and looking at what other people are doing and what you've learned today and how you can go tell other people, this should be an internal thing. Look at yourself. So use this to enhance your life. Use this to enhance who you are and who you are becoming. So this is the enemy within, class 5. And before we move forward, I want to make sure that you give yourself permission to learn something new, to take in something new. And if you're not ready to learn something new and you're just here to, be an antagonist or an agitator, then go ahead and quietly log off. And if you're not with the subject, that's okay. We're not here to make everybody agree with everything. This is not for everyone. This is for those who are ready to hear something that they can use. If there's something in here that you can use, then use it. Okay, my name is Dr. B. Serious. I have been teaching most of my life. I have been a musician. I still am a record producer, music producer. I've been in the music business, for a very long time, and had to leave the music business many years ago because of the turmoil and politics that began to happen around the early 90s. And I also was challenged with an illness or a group of illnesses that caused me to get into natural health. And in order to save my life, I had to look at myself. I had to go inward. And I also began to study, metaphysics and consciousness and all those things to uplift myself and realize that the whole world is music. Everything is music. It's about vibration. It's also about pretending. It's about acting. It's about moving out on something, having ideas and creative ideas that we can use to expound on. So today we're going to talk about this subject. Let me see how I can do this. Here we go. In a very different way. If you've taken the other classes, and if you haven't, I'd ask that you go back and take the other classes, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like, because that helps us, know who you are, where you are, and be able to send you information about things that are happening. Also, go to elevationtime.com, elevation.time.com, and get on the email list. But give yourself permission. And is it okay that I teach you or give you or offer you some things that you may not have looked at this way before? Is that okay? And is it okay that we make this a little fun sometimes? Is that okay? We got to be serious, or can we have a little fun? And is it okay that we talk about some things that may agitate you? Especially today. Because today, part of what we're going to hit on goes deep. It goes deep into who you think you are and what you think you must do to be, to create, to live. And some of that is actually working against you. Is it okay that we be here for the next at least couple hours and open up our minds and at least ponder and take these subjects and these ideas and see if they fit you. Is it okay? Good. I'm going to drink some tea and then we can get started. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not a part of the 3-letter organizations. I have not been trained by them. I'm not controlled by them. I am simply a person who is a being who seeks knowledge and seeks more truth and seeks to help other folks who might be on the same path, actually elevate their lives. If that's who you are, if we join, cool. But we this thing about, and I have to start here because a lot of times we hear other people talk about subjects, health subjects, metaphysics, consciousness, awareness. And folks have been saying, well, Dr. B, such and such doesn't agree with you. Well, I may not agree with my old self either. I don't know. I'm not asking you to agree. And I'm not saying that we all should agree with each other because there's many points of view. We don't have to just like strawberries. We can like bananas and, we're all, into different things. So don't let the mindset, right, of difference, because I might look a certain way. And you may say, well, look, somebody else who kind of looks like you doesn't talk like you. We're all different. We're all different. But I am a doctor. I am not a doctor. So my goal is to attempt to give people something that they can use while learning myself, because I'm relearning everything. Today is about dissolving the defensive layer. In a world obsessed with appearance, true warriors cultivate their inner strength rather than their outer armor. That's from Sun Tzu, from The Art of War. This whole class is using the analogies of art of war so that we can, win in ourselves. In a world obsessed with appearance, true warriors cultivate inner strength rather than outer armor. Sun Tzu, Art of War. The masking effect. That's what this is about. The masking effect. Taking off the mask. Realizing what is the mask. What have we been covering? What would we like to show? Are we ready to show up and be totally authentic? Or are we fighting ourselves and actually showing up for others the way they desire for us to show up? At that particular point, they're the parasite and you're the host. Parasites and protective barriers. Systemic parasites often hide in places with immune privilege, like the brain, eyes, joints, or muscles. The blood-brain barrier and tissue encapsulation shield them from many plant compounds or mechanical remedies like diatomaceous earth, which only act on the gut tissue. I'm going to read it once again. Systemic parasites. Now, this is different than your gut parasites. We're talking about ones throughout the system, throughout the body. Also, the mental parasites, the emotional parasites, the energetic parasites. They often hide in places in the with immune privilege. So the brain, the eyes, the joint, and the muscles, they have immune privilege. In other words, your immune system cannot, if your immune system attacks certain parts of your body, it could take you out. It could hurt you. So there's places that have immune privileges, like the brain. The brain has a blood-brain barrier to keep most of the substances that we would use, like even pharmaceuticals, from actually hitting the brain, because the brain is a very delicate tissue. The blood-brain barrier and tissue encapsulation shield them from many plant compounds or mechanical remedies like diatomaceous earth, which only act in the gut tissue. Biofilm and cyst formation. Many systemic parasites create biofilms, slimy protective layers, or encyst inside tissues. This makes them resistant not only to common herbs, but also to pharmaceuticals. Are y'all familiar with biofilm? Some folks were telling me the other day they've never heard this term before. Even though they study health and wellness, they've never heard of biofilm. It's important to really get this piece. Put this under your belt, put this in your mind. What is a biofilm? How parasites protect themselves. Parasites and harmful microbes secrete a biofilm, a sticky gelatin-like shield. This protective layer hides them from herbs, medicine, and the immune system. Did you hear that? Inside it, they communicate, multiply, and coordinate, forming hidden colonies. Result: the body can't heal until the biofilm is broken down. Let's break down the biofilm. A number of herbs and supplements can aid in breaking down the biofilm. These natural substances have enzymatic or antimicrobial and antioxidant properties. Healing can't occur until the biofilm layer is removed and the parasites are exposed. What is biofilm? Biofilm is a sticky layer of mucus and particles. It surrounds microbes, shielding them from threats. So this is bacteria, parasites, virus, yeast. They all together create a biofilm, which is almost like a swamp that protects them. It's a protective coating that they create. This is why I keep saying that most people today, it's a really deep thing today, how many people are talking about parasites. I started really talking about parasites in 1996. And not that I was the first. I mean, this has been a subject. It used to be taught in, the medical industry at first, because we realized many, 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 many years ago, before I was even on the planet, that parasites caused most of the illnesses. And if you could deal with these parasites, you could help with a whole lot of illnesses, because most illnesses are either connected to parasites or the biofilm that they create or their waste, or the parasites live in weakened tissues that are affected, that may be damaged by other things that happened that weren't caused by parasites. But the parasites will move into the weakened tissue. And the parasites will eat most of our herbs, most of what we eat. They're parasites. They live beside us. Para means beside. Site means life. Life that lives beside us. And they're very, very intelligent. Keep in mind that some of these parasites, they say, are over 2.5 billion years old. They were some of the first creatures on the planet. They are survivalists. They know how to live. They're not just surviving, they're also thriving. And many of the things that we feel that we're doing to get rid of them actually makes them stronger. This is why I keep saying there's these simple parasite cleanses that I keep hearing about, that people come to me and they say, well, Dr. B, I got a parasite cleanse. And I'm saying, well, yeah, this works great. But did you break down the biofilm? Do you know how to break down biofilm? Do you know what it takes, how much time it takes to break down a biofilm? So some of these things have you pretending that you've gotten rid of your problem. And you may pretend that because you're a vegan and you eat great and you're very conscious and you read a lot, that you don't have this issue. Most people have this issue in their tissue. So you get an infection. This is when the parasites infect your body. They're in the air, they're in the water, they're on doorknobs, they're in handshakes. You're going to have parasites if you're on the planet. So now toxins from what you eat, from how you live, what you wear, they get all wrapped up in with the infection. And now you have a biofilm. Because the biofilm is parasites and all kinds of other things that create this environment. And that turns into inflammation. Most people are dealing with some level of inflammation. The connection between biofilm and microplastics. Huh? You've been hearing a lot about microplastics lately. This is huge. Listen carefully. Microplastics as biofilm foundations. In nature, biofilm, the sticky coating made by bacteria, fungi, and parasites, can form on almost any surface, rocks, metals, or plastic particles. Plastic particles? Yes. Microplastics in water, soil, and the human body become ideal surfaces for microbes and parasites to attach to. These combined layers, microplastic, biofilm, are now called plastisphere. Plastisphere. That's a good, check that one out. Plastisphere communities. Plastisphere communities. Plastisphere communities. Have you heard of this? Biofilm protects microbes living on plastic. Once the biofilm forms on a microplastic particle, it acts like a shield, protecting the microbes from sunlight, UV damage, chemicals, or antibiotics. Most immune systems in animals and humans, host immune systems in animals and humans. This means that microplastics actually help harmful microbes survive longer in the environment and potentially inside the body if ingested or inhaled. Parasite transport and survival. Studies have found parasite eggs and larvae like Toxoplasma gondii, Cryptosporidium, and Giardia lambia attached to microplastic surfaces in seawater and wastewater. The biofilm coating helps them cling to plastic particles and travel further, even reaching new hosts, including humans. Inside the body, these microplastics, biofilm clusters, these microplastic biofilm clusters can irritate tissues, trigger inflammation, and create protected zones where parasites can thrive undetected. How many of you have even heard about this? Who's talking about this? Everybody's talking about parasites. That's the big thing. I keep seeing posts all day long, or maybe just in my feeds or my threads. Who is talking about the biofilm that parasites create? We keep talking about how to get rid of these parasites, but we're not, unless we're really studying deeply, we don't realize that the parasites know you're trying to get rid of them because you've told them when you're in the store shopping for these products or ordering these products that's supposed to get rid of parasites. Guess what? The parasites go into defensive mode because they're very intelligent, because they're connected to your neurons. They're connected to your thoughts, your feelings. They know what you're about to do. They are survivalists. They're very intelligent beings. They're not dummies. Listen. These tiny creatures manipulate our behavior and shape society. These little bugs that you may not have respected for long are actually what? controlling your vessel. A lot of your mindset and your thought and your feelings and your notions come from a parasitic mindset. And we want an easy push button thing. Oh, I took this stuff, Dr. B. It works. I got rid of my parasites. That's the parasites talking. How'd you get to parasites in your heart and in your brain and in your liver? Systemic parasites live throughout the body. And now we know that they protect themselves with a biofilm. That's step one. They create a protective sticky coating to protect them from drugs, pharmaceuticals, herbs too. Which herbs? Now, there's selective herbs. There's a certain group of herbs that can break down this biofilm. There's a certain activity that can break down the biofilm. There's a certain way and a certain habit and certain foods that can break down a biofilm. But what about the plastic? A plastisphere? This is an environment of the biofilm and the plastics that are in throughout our society are protecting the parasites? To me, this is deep. Oh, somebody said fasting. That's a good one. I'm going to fast to get rid of my parasites. Did you know that when you fast, this is you not eating, the parasites, they still eating because they stored up stuff that you ate before, and they'll even eat your tissue. I don't know, and I've studied this for a long time. This is my specialty, that fasting is going to kill any systemic parasite because they will fast also. They don't need to eat all the time. There are parasites that they found in rocks, in broken open rocks, and found parasite eggs and larvae. They found parasites deep in the ice, thousands and thousands of feet, that are in a dormant state, and you warm them up and they wake up. These are super bugs. It's like an alien. I mean, most of these science fiction movies, these creatures are parasites. The monsters, if you go to that micro world and you look in your microscope, you'll see that this is where they get the idea of these ugly creatures with teeth. Have you seen them? The eyes, tentacles. And they know you're coming to get them because they know the art of war. They know themselves and they know the enemy. And these parasites that we're speaking of are very, very intelligent, and they're tacticians. Is that the word, tacticians? They study their stuff. They do what they do. Like bees are going to be bees no matter what. A lion is going to be a lion even on his deathbed. It's a lion. Most things in nature are what they are. They don't change up. They don't have some other idea about life and decide they want to be somebody else or change their belief system. They can't. They stay who they are. A ladybug is a ladybug. A mosquito is going to be a mosquito. A shark is going to be a shark no matter what. But we pretend to be some things that we may not be. We pretend to have strength in place where we're actually having weakness. This is why we're talking about this particular subject so deeply. This is why at Elevation Time, we created the best parasite cleanse there is, because it deals with systemic parasites. It deals with the ones in the colon, and it has those herbs too. In fact, in the beginning, I didn't have those herbs like the cloves and the wormwood and all that. And people were upset. They were like, well, if you don't put those in there, Dr. B, we don't think it works. So I put those in there to deal with what we call the parasites in the digestive tract, but it's the ones that are systemic. And what about the non-physical parasites? Do you know how to deal with those? Do you even know about those? There's energies that use your energy that you're not using. Parasites. You're the host. And now we're looking at this biofilm that they create to protect themselves from whatever you're trying to throw at them. And you're just taking these herbs and you don't realize that if you don't sneak up, something happened. Something happened, y'all. Don't go nowhere. It says that my camera was unplugged. There we go. It's back. You got me back? Okay. Something happened. Hold on. Am I back yet? I think that some kind of way something happened to my camera. Hold on a minute. There we go. Now we're back. That was a technical difficulty. Maybe the parasites are trying to stop me from breaking this down. This is the deepest piece about parasites. You, in order to deal with their atmosphere, the place that they make, the space that they make, you've got to deal with the protective coatings, the cyst that they create to protect themselves. And when you are attempting to get rid of them, they do things to protect their life. They're very good at it. And even if you just start taking your parasite herbs, like you just start taking them today, and you don't understand how to gradually sneak up on them, you're not going to get them. They hide in tissues. They create these biospheres, these plastospheres. They use all the stuff that they can to survive. Do you know how long it takes to actually deal with systemic parasites? Are you truly realizing what a systemic parasite is? Think about it for a second. Just be open. This is Dr. B's specialty. It takes time, a certain rhythm to deal with these parasites. In the human body, when we ingest microplastics through water, seafood, or packaging, these particles can adhere, how you say it, to intestinal walls, carry biofilm communities of bacteria, fungus, and possibly parasites, disrupt gut microbiota and human balance or immune balance. This contributes to low-grade chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and may interfere with detox pathways. What? Do y'all know what a detox pathway is? So your breath is a detox pathway. These are also called channels of elimination. Your skin is a detox pathway. Tears, saliva, urine, feces are all pathways of elimination. Most people today, because of the environment, because of our habits, the way we live, have blocked channels of elimination. Unless you're opening up your channels of elimination, then you may never, ever get rid of these superbugs and these parasites. And we're not just talking about a colon cleanse. You know, some people say, well, Dr. B, I do colonics and I do a colon cleanse. I'm not saying don't do those. I'm not saying that that's not helping. I'm saying there's other channels that have to be opened up. Even the energy around your body, that we call the biosphere or the magnetosphere around your body, has to be opened in a very special way on a vibrational, energetic level to let out some of the parasites. You know, I bought this stuff. And it's supposed to help get rid of snakes. Because, you know, when you stay in a wooded area, you're going to have snakes. And me, you know, I have an issue with snakes, especially, you know, reptiles, especially snakes. So it tells you to sprinkle this stuff, which is like a sulfur, around your yard. And it says go all the way around the periphery of your yard with this stuff. But open up an area. Don't do one area of your yard. So if you're going along your fence and you're going all around your property line, you have to leave an opening, because the parasites that are already on your property not the parasites, the snakes that are already on your property need to get out. If you don't leave a way for them to get out, they're going to be in there with you. You've got a protective boundary that you've put up so the new ones can't come on your property, but there's already ones existing on the property. The same thing for, when you're putting out, they got the stuff you put down for mice and rats. You have to leave a channel of elimination. You have to open up a channel, right? A pathway for them to leave. The same thing with parasites. Unless you are opening up all the channels of elimination, you are not getting rid of all of them. So you've got to have something in your formulation or in your food that causes you to breathe deeper. Some parasites, their energy is got to do with breath and the electrical flow of your body. Unless you're breathing deeply, you may not be energizing your immune system enough to get rid of them, because technically you've got to boost your immune system for these parasites to actually be affected. It's not the herbs that are doing the thing. It's actually the herbs that are meeting you and joining with you that create the energy to get rid of them. And you could never get rid of all of them, but you can keep the population really low. But you must open the channels of elimination. You must open up the skin, the pores, and some of the things that we put on our skin, even sometimes shea butter. Be careful, because some of the shea butter you're getting is waxy. You say, well, it's natural. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying when you're detoxing at this level, you may want to use something that opens up the pores of your skin a little more instead of covering them. Your hair. Did you know that there's pores in your hair? And did you know there's parasites that live in hair follicles? And you could use the best shampoo. You could use the best shampoo. That wasn't a Freudian slip. That was a Dr. B slip. You can use the best shampoo there is. There's parasites that cling to your hair follicles. Did you know this? In fact, this is one of the main reasons for baldness in a lot of people. It's parasites living down in the scalp. Have you ever gone and get the test where they look at your scalp in the microscope? I remember there was a guy I used to travel with. He had a dark field microscope, and we could put all kinds of things into the microscope. And, my mind was blown at the things that live on us. This thing's called ectoparasites. Ectoparasites live on the outside. Endoparasites live on the inside. My biggest challenge is to listen to people say that these products, blah, 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 they name about 4 or 5 products, gets rid of parasites. Which parasites? Do you know how many different types of parasites there are? And the stuff that you might use that might be getting rid of one group of parasites makes another group stronger. Did you know that? Are you aware of this? And it sounds simple. All I got to do is mix these things together and take them over a weekend and use the bathroom. Ha, ha, ha. You're pretending. You're just putting a coating and creating an environment that actually weakens you, because you don't know that this subject is so deep. This is one of the deepest subjects in biology, in science. I'm looking in my bookshelf for this book. It's a book that was given to me many years ago that used to be taught on medical parasitology. I am not seeing it right at this moment. But when they realize that this whole system is actually being controlled by these microorganisms, some of them are not microorganisms, that we have to deal with them when we deal with ourselves, because the enemy within is inside of us, and the way we're acting and living has a lot to do with these bugs. We also must look at the part in the subject about biofilm and what that is and how that plays into the environment that these parasites live in. So we're going to touch on this even more. We're going to get deeper into this, but keep in mind the channels of elimination, all of them have to be open so you can let out the parasites. Now let's look at this even deeper. The emotional biofilm of inauthenticity. Now this blew my mind when I started looking at this. The emotional biofilm. Remember, a biofilm is a sticky substance. Could be slimy, that creates a coating, a protective layer to protect the parasites while you try to get rid of them. The emotional biofilm of inauthenticity. Where are we going now, Doc? Because we're bringing it home to you. Metaphysical and energetic parallels. Microplastics are synthetic fragments that don't belong in the natural order, much like mental clutter or artificial programming in consciousness. Biofilm represents the defensive illusion protecting those distortions. Together, they symbolize how artificial influences, modern diet, tech, toxins, fear, can anchor hidden energetic parasites in the system. Now we're talking about energetic parasites? Yes. Remember I tell you they're not all physical. Some of these are non-physical. Some of these are mental parasites and emotional parasites. And a parasite is a thing that lives in or on another thing and uses it as a host. It doesn't bring anything to the party. Microplastics and biofilm. So we got the biofilm, we got the microparticle, parasites that transport it, and they all live in the body together and create this whole environment. Let's keep going. Everyday sources of microplastics. Now, this is going to tie into the metaphysics piece real quickly. You'll see where we're going. My highest choice is that you get this. Everybody okay? Y'all all right? Everyday sources of microplastics. Personal care and hygiene products. Toothpaste with microbeads or poisons or polishing agents. Facial scrubs, exfoliants, polyethylene microbeads, body washes and shower gels, makeup and glitter, lipstick, lip gloss containing plasticizers and polymers, deodorants and lotions, plastic stabilizers, or microbead thickeners. Doc, I thought you were talking about the metaphysics. we are in metaphysics now. These are things that you may be using to create a biofilm. And the reason why you may be using them is because the way you think. Let's keep going. Or let's say we. This is all about microplastics now. Food and drink sources: bottled water, soft drinks, which are actually hard drinks, plastic particles leach from bottles and caps, tea bags. Many of the silky or pyramid style bags contain nylon or PET plastic. Um, Y'all know those tea bags? Have y'all seen them? They're real fancy. They're shaped like a little pyramid and they're real shiny. You dip them in your water and you're like, oh, wow, this is real. This is high tech right here. I've had those before at some of these high end, health food spots. Yeah, tea bags. Plastic packaged foods, especially when heated or frozen. So you take your water because it's a hot day and you put your plastic bottled water in your freezer. Did you know the minute you put it in the freezer, you're changing the chemical composition of it? And when it thaws out, you have changed the energetic bonds of the plastic. And now more of the plastic outgasses or leaches into the water. Are you aware of this? Also, if you keep your plastic water in your car and it's hot outside, the plastic is never done drying. It's curing. Have you ever gone in the woods and seen a plastic bottle that had been there for a long time and it was hard and it was dark because it outgassed? These thin plastic bottles are outgassing. The chemical outgas is getting into the water. And a lot of these plastics are made from soy. So now you're leaching these soy has a lot to do with our hormones, you know about that. The xenoestrogens, you see, xenoestrogens, estrogen mimicking chemicals, xenon, estrogen mimicking chemicals from soy. I'm not talking about the original soy. We're talking about the soy that is used mostly in the Western world. It's what they use to make plastics. So not all plastics, because most plastics are made from petrochemicals, which is oil. It's a byproduct of oil, and oil and petroleum don't seem to be something that's for human consumption. It's for your automobile, but you may be putting them on your skin. You may be even putting them on your baby with your baby oil, or what they call mineral oil. You're rubbing petroleum on the child or on yourself. Petroleum jelly. Oh, no, that's not petroleum jelly. It's petrolatum. It says on it, on the label, petrolatum. What the heck is petrolatum? Look up petrolatum. And why it's got petrol in it. Petrol means gas or fuel. You can take this, they make napalm and explosives and things out of this same stuff that we're putting on our bodies. So be careful with these plastic bottles. So you can get the ones that say that they're PET free. Those don't leach the same. That's a different type of plastic. Plastic packaged foods, especially when heated or frozen. Do you remember how often do you go buy these vegetables that are in the frozen aisle and you take it out? It's in a plastic bag and it says, take that whole plastic and put it in the water and let it heat. It's got buttery flavors in it. Oh my God, it's just so easy because we want it easy. Because we're pretending that this is good and pretending that this is healthy. But you're on a sideshow, a B-side show. And there's side effects in the sideshow. You're standing on the side of the stage, but you're a part of the stage, which is a vaudeville show, which is creating something that may not be best for you because that show is not real. The reality is that toxin, those poisons in that plastic are being injected into the food as you heat it. And they've got the same thing with the microwave. They got stuff that you just leave in the plastic, leave in the container, right? It's easy. Put it in the microwave, turn on the microwave, electrocute yourself, shock yourself, use that radiation to heat up the food because why are we lazy? We can't wait a few more minutes and put something on the stove like we used to. No, we want it quick. We want it fast. It's a microwave. And if you study microwaves, you will know that's one of the reasons that people are having constant inflammation and sick and cancer causing. The microwave. the plastic, the fakeness, the quickness that we want things. Somebody's asking us about, please answer if pregnant breastfeeding women can take your herbs. They can take some of the herbs, but not the parasite cleanse, because this program is so deep that, a baby is like almost in the same category as a parasite. It's sucking energy. It doesn't bring anything. You're giving it. So it's using you as a host. So you must be very careful when we're breastfeeding. Our cleanse, our total body cleanse, our elevated total body cleanse are not for breastfeeding or pregnant women. In fact, some people have used the parasite cleanse to not get pregnant because it has herbs in it that actually can cause a person not to be able to conceive while you're on the cleanse. So if you're taking it and you're trying to conceive, this is something that we do. I mean, people have done the cleanse to clean their body out and then attempt to conceive. In fact, there were a lot of clients when we were in Los Angeles on Pico Boulevard. We had several clients who were attempting to have children, and the doctor said they couldn't. In fact, there's a famous guitar player, I want to say his name. He and his wife, they said both of them could not have children. It was impossible. And they did our cleanse for 3 months, and guess what? They conceived. Now, there were people in the past that wanted to change they wanted to name their baby after me. So one lady said, well, what if we just call the child Baby? Because I had helped them do something that, doctors said they couldn't do. But what we changed was the chemistry of their bodies through this cleanse. We got rid of a lot of the toxicity and we opened up the channels of elimination. And certain people can't get pregnant because of toxicity and parasites. You see, but if you're pregnant or nursing, no, you cannot do the elevated or the total body program that's available at elevationtime.com. Yeah, microwave, especially if you're pregnant or you're trying to. Did you know that a lot of people are having sexual dysfunctions because they turn on the microwave? Did you know that the microwave is causing sexual dysfunction? Did you know plastic is causing sexual dysfunction? Because of the xenon estrogen or estrogen mimicking chemicals that are in plastics, and the chemicals that they use to make this actually tells your body, we can't have children. The biochemistry of the body is so shifted. The body is very fragile. So we've got to be careful of using things that are actually getting us to this place where we can't fight the battle of success. We can't climb the success ladder. We can't get our minds focused on being the best we can be because we're full of plastics, parasites, microwaves, chemicals, radiation, and then we got a bad attitude and we're holding on to the past, which is like a microfilm or microfilm, a biofilm rather. Microfilm. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's keep going. Seafood, fish, and shell food ingest microplastics from the ocean. Did you know this? There's only certain fish that live in areas where there is little or few microtoxins or things like, this thing gets deep. There are so many chemicals in the water that come from us. Most of our waste goes to the ocean. That's where they take your waste. They dump it in the ocean. So all the chemicals people are eating, the drugs people are on, and then there's mercury in most of the oceans, especially near the shore. So you've got to go way out in the ocean, and there are certain fish like the sockeye salmon and the wild caught. It's got to be wild caught sardines, wild caught whiting and whitefish. There are certain fish that are small. They've got to be smaller fish that don't live in toxic waters. But if you're eating shellfish, what I call hellfish, and you're eating things that scrub and scrape the bottom of the ocean. So think about shrimp, right? Shrimp and crabs and lobsters are all arthropods. Arthropods. Look up arthropods. These are roaches, sea roaches. Yeah, they're tasty. It's because they ate everything, but they eat plastic because the oceans are just plastic trash. Yeah. So little particles of plastics are full of the ocean, especially at the bottom of the ocean. So it's in these shellfish and these things that crawl, and catfish eat all of the trash. Catfish and I call them crawfish, and all these things that crawl and live at the bottom of the ocean are full of these microplastics. And people love them. They're tasty. Why do you think they call it the sandwich of po' boy? Because only somebody po would even eat this. They don't have if they got a sandwich called a rich boy, and it wouldn't be a rich boy, it would be a rich man. A po' boy. That's a po' boy. And you feel you got shrimp. Oh my God, I'm gonna go get me a shrimp po' boy. And you wonder why consciously you're not able to leave hell. During the art of war, you have to be a warrior. You have to go into battle, excuse me, already being a winner. Let me drink my tea, excuse me. You can't go into war eating a po' boy. A po' boy. You can't live your life thinking and imagining, right? And pretending to be poor, broken, lonely every day, because you're through auto suggestion, you're telling yourself something every day. I need a discount on everything. I need it cheap, Dr. B. Well, this is how you cheapen your life, and you make yourself, right, so broke and so poor where you become a victim, and then you eat microplastics and you use microwaves and you use all of these things that you say the oppressor is making you do, but you're choosing them. So that auto suggestion is when you're telling yourself something over and over and over that may not be based on fact. Now, this can work for you. If you're saying I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm wise, but you have to, you say that every day, the auto suggestion and that repetition will actually help to create that environment. But you got to make sure that you haven't created a biofilm and a plastic environment and chemicals and things that are in your body that are going to inhibit you from ever being able to move towards those things. So now it's a sideshow. It's all about the side effects. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry. Step right on in. You remember the song? So the side effects of these things are actually the effects that are affecting people today. Salt. Now check this out. Sea salt and even Himalayan sea salt often contain microplastic traces. So you got some Himalayan sea salt. What container is it in? What did they use at the factory when they were pulverizing it? Was it shooting down plastic chutes and things? Because plastic is so easily moldable and used so much in industry that a lot of products got plastic in them. So, yeah, this is true. Somebody said, well, we can't ever get past this plastic thing. Well, you can eliminate plastic, and you can break down plastic, and you can break down the biofilm in your body. And that's what we're talking about today. Let's see. How come my slide is not okay? Household items and tools, plastic cutting boards, and kitchen utensils, non-stick cookware coatings, PTFE. Look that up. PTFE. Teflon breakdown releases microplastics and microparticles. Not microplastics, but microparticles. Teflon. Do you know what Teflon even is? Just non-stick coating. Nothing will stick to it, but you're stuck on it. You're stuck on using it. Plastic water bottles and food containers. Dish sponges. There's some natural dish sponges out there that don't use plastic. Did you know that? Synthetic brushes, carpet fibers, and indoor dust, a major source of inhaled microplastics. everyday packaging and products, single-use bags, straws, utensils, plastic cups and lids, coffee pods. How many of y'all got that machine where you could just throw the little coffee pod in the machine and boop, you got quick coffee? Well, it's not just coffee. It's plastic mixed with coffee. Plastic coated receipts, thermal paper. Here we go. Clothing and textiles. Polyester, nylon, spandex, acrylic fabrics, fleece jackets. Fleece? Is that, what kind of fleece is it? If it just says fleece, what the heck is fleece? Is this from a sheep? Is it the golden fleece? Was that a story from back in the day? Something about they were looking for the golden fleece. Athletic wear, stuff that shrinks and spandex. It sticks to you. It just has that shininess. Microfiber cleaning cloths. Each wash cycle can release hundreds of thousands of plastic fibers into the water supply. Not only that, you know, when you wash clothes and you put them in the dryer, you have that, you know, that dust that's left over. What do they call it? You know what that is? That lint. The lint is broken off fibers from the clothing when it's drying. Excuse me. Same thing happens in the wash machine, but you just don't see it because it has a filter inside. Lint is broken off pieces and fibers from your clothing. So let's say you got all cotton and natural clothes that you're washing, but you're washing it with something that has polyester or polyurethane. They got a lot of stuff going on, man. Things inside clothes and inserts and plastics inside the collar to make it strong. This stuff is all in that lint. That means that it's still in the clothes. Your clothes are a little dusty. And the dust, a lot of the dust that we have today is full of microplastics. Something to be aware of. Are you familiar with the vibrational frequencies of clothes in millihertz? Linen, 5,000 MHz, the highest these are the frequencies, highest frequency, harmonizing the body and energy field. Wool, also very high, but grounding, but can conflict if layers with linen. So in other words, if you have linen and wool together, they're going to cancel and you're going to have zero electrical field. So what we're talking about is the electrical energy that's in certain fabrics that can actually help you. It brings electricity to your body. Your body needs energy. It needs electricity. That's what we're looking for when what the body needs to be able to be at its best. Silk is at 10, protective, keeps energy field intact. Cotton, organic cotton is at 100, neutral and supportive, because the body naturally is just, its resting state is at about 100 millihertz. Cotton, non-organic or processed, is about 40 to 70 millihertz. It's still good. It still has electricity, still has energy. Polyester, nylon, acrylic, and rayon, all plastic, 0 millihertz, no measurable life energy, considered a dead fabric. What? You're wearing dead fabrics? You're sleeping in dead fabrics? Are your underwear made of dead fabrics? Are your socks made of dead fabrics? And you wonder why you're having trouble living the best life. Microplastics are everywhere in what we wear, eat, drink, breathe, and touch. Each fragment acts as a carrier for toxins, heavy metals, and biofilm forming microbes, including parasites. They are the new Trojan horses, invisible, persistent, and energetically disruptive. Here we go, y'all. No, leather is okay. Leather's all right, y'all. And let's go back. Most of these plastics are cheap. The plastic clothings are cheap. They're always on sale. We don't want to spend that money. It costs too much. It does cost, but it actually adds value to your life. You're going to have to invest a little more money. I just bought some socks that have, they're 100% organic cotton, and they have copper fibers. They have copper threads in the socks. I just threw all my old socks out. When I put these things on, I can feel this energy, because we are looking we're looking for energy. The body needs energy, electricity. It needs minerals. It needs life force that is actually giving us the energy to move forward and be who we are. So we look for this stuff on sale. We need it cheap. And I get it, because it's tough out there. It's kind of hard sometimes, especially if you got a large family, you're trying to clothe everybody. But maybe we could even just get one or two items at a, when you can. Just a few things. Maybe on Sunday, wear something, since this is God's day, wear something natural, or wear nothing. But the bedclothes, linen. And I just found out that linen is almost the same price as cotton. And you can buy it online. Look for 100% linen sheets. At least while you're sleeping, you could be gaining energy. A lot of folks are having nightmares and issues sleeping because they're sleeping on fabrics that are sucking out their life force and causing them to be dead and dream about dying, because it's sucking life force from you if you're living in and sleeping on what? Dead fabrics. Now we're going deep. The psychological biofilm. Just as parasites create biofilm to survive, medicine and to survive. Oh, let me say it right. Let me get my reading right. Okay, just take a deep breath. I got to read in a different voice, because that way my subconscious doesn't know that it's the old me who had reading issues. So I'm going to read in a different voice so that I can be clear with you. Just as parasites create biofilm to survive medicine and detection, many people unconsciously build emotional and social coatings to survive rejection, shame, or insecurity. Huh? Yeah, cotton is good to sleep on. Cotton is good. Wool is good. Hemp is good. Pretending to be confident while feeling empty inside, building image over integrity, seeking validation through appearance, status, or attention, hiding pain under perfection. What? Somebody said, well, I'm sleeping on flannel. Please go look up what is flannel. Do your research. What is flannel? I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying do research. So what are we talking about right now? We're talking about psychological biofilm. Follow me now. It's kind of a dense layer, not made of mucus and protein, but of ego and fear. Y'all hear this? This is another kind of plastic. This is a plastic personality. And so many of us actually have this. It protects the inner wound from exposure, yet also blocks authentic healing, intimacy, and truth from entering. What? The Plastic Mask, the new biofilm. Sounds like a movie. The Plastic Mask, the new biofilm. Coming to theaters near you. The modern beauty and cosmetic industry has become a literal and symbolic expression of this psychological coding. Billions are spent to resculpt faces, bodies, and identities, not just to look better, but to feel worthy and accepted or safe. Plastic, just stop there before we even say the word surgery. Plastic surgery? Years ago, when I met somebody, I used to do these lectures in Atlanta when I first got here, and this lady was a plastic surgeon who owned this. She owned a natural health clinic, but she made her big money doing plastic surgery. And I was like, why do they call it plastic surgery? She said, because we use plastic. She says, yeah, we stuff people with plastic. We put plastic in the body to mold it. I thought it just meant you shape the body, like clay. No, we use a lot of plastic. Whew. Plastic surgery, fillers. Huh? Is that fillers twice? Yeah. No. One is fillers, one is filters. Artificial hair, fake lashes and nails, and digital enhancement all create an artificial layer that hides vulnerability behind a manufactured version of confidence, all while being poisoned. Huh? Are you following? Ironically, this external biofilm often traps the person deeper in self-doubt, becoming the toxic mask must always be maintained. Because the toxic mask must always be maintained. You hear that? I hear emergency siren outside. This is an emergency. This is an emergency. This is an emergency message from yourself. This is a public service emergency. Let me say it right. This is a public service emergency session from yourself. This is a public service emergency message from your true self. Plastic beauty. Physical manifestation of emotional insecurities. The more disconnected somebody feels from inner value, the more they rely on synthetic substitutes for self-worth. The class is called The Enemy Within. And this is class 5. 5 is about power refinement. Refining our power. Now, I know some folks may be offended by this, and they may not desire to hear it. But when you have come up in a society that promotes oppression, mental, physical, and spiritual oppression, and you were born into a family, an oppressed family, even if you was wealthy, a lot of times your true mind is oppressed. Your true creative trait. This is not about money. This is about the mindset that controls people and keeps people what? Living a life of parasitic, entities who eat them alive and become the host for parasites, people parasites that use your energy. Who's making all the money off this stuff? Who gets paid from all this plastic stuff? The parasitic people, parasites, people parasites. And we allow it. We have to allow ourselves to be this. And some people get a little upset when I talk about this. It's because I just want to feel beautiful. I'm not telling you shouldn't feel beautiful. You need to know what you're doing. If you are a true warrior, you need to realize that what you're doing whether it's giving you life or taking life. If you're wearing plastic, if you're wearing chemicals, it is sucking your life force, and you're using it because society says that this is what you need to be beautiful or to be accepted. Now, there are some cases where folks have some real physical issues, and I'm not talking that down. You may have some real physical issues where you might need to use something to enhance, your look. I'm not talking bad on that. I'm saying when it becomes the mainstream, right, habitual use of items that are reducing their life force energy. You're attempting to go from A to Z, but you're using products that take you from A to negative Z. You're discounting your life force. I want to make this clear. There are times when we may need to use physical enhancements because we have, people got some real things that happen to them. I'm not talking about that. I am saying that if your daily goal is you got to get up and put on the fake up to make it, because people, this is how they want to see you. This is how you got to look. You just need to realize that you are choosing something that actually may be sucking energy from your life. And we're teaching our children and we're teaching the society to be fake, to not really show up authentically. It's like a lie. It's like the person I saw in the store the other day. Hi, how are you? Can I help you? Do you need anything? Did you find everything okay? Then later on, I went out and the person was outside the store smoking a cigarette. This was like later on. The same person who I saw hi. They were outside smoking a cigarette. I said, how you doing? I said, no, I'm all right. Well, wait a minute. You're just acting? You ever have that happen? The person in the store who's got the job. The person's on the stage. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the concert. And you meet them backstage. You say, this person's a monster. Most of the famous people I met, when I met them person to person, I didn't like them no more because it was all fake. It's a show. It's vaudeville. It's Hollywood. But there are people who are really authentic most of the time. I've met some folks who are famous who are authentic. This is just the way they are. They're not faking it. I'm not saying you shouldn't fake. I'm saying if that's working for you, go for it. Sometimes that's your business to be fake. Why can't you be real? Why can't it be internal? You can convert your energy to be that way all the time. Beauty is an internal thing, y'all. It's an internal situation. And if you feel like you got to put on all this stuff to be real, to live your life, then what's going on? That's a part of oppression. It's like when you see the politicians and they're acting like they're really here to help you. Then you vote them in, give them your voltage, give them your electricity, and they don't do what they said they was going to do. Do they ever? How many politicians have actually done what they said they're going to do? Maybe there's some. I don't know of any. Not that I study politics. I see King Simon here. What's happening, King Simon? He said in entertainment, sometime you have to turn it off and on. Let me put that up on how you do this. I think there's a button I could hit. I could put the comment up. How do I do it? There we go. Wow. King Simon, he knows the mathematics. See, there's numbers. And once you understand the mathematics of life, then you can understand, because Life is based on mathematics. They say God is mathematics. There's all kinds of equations and numbers and things. But when you're living a life that's not yours, that's not even in your numbers, it's not even in your flow, but you're doing it because everybody else is doing it, what does that say about you? Where the whole world is fake. Everybody's got a platform and you know what I'm saying? We create these filters and put all this makeup. I met this lady, and oh my gosh, she needed help with this. She had all these physical issues, and I was looking at her profile. So I had to do a consultation. I was meeting her at this place, and I didn't see her. I'm looking for her, and the lady walks up. She says, "Hi, Dr. B." I was like, "Yeah, how are you?" She says, "I'm the one you're supposed to be meeting." She looked nothing like her profile. And I realized what her issue was, why she was having all these physical, mental, and spiritual issues is because she was ghosting. She was haunted by her real self. Huh? Her real self was attempting to get her to wake up. And we decided that you need to take off this hair. Where'd you buy it? It wasn't even human hair. It was plastic. She had the lashes on. Do you know how many chemicals are in the glue that's sticking to your eyelid, and how that microplastic and those chemicals are going in your eye and you can't see correctly because you're not seeing the reality of the world because you're blinded by living in a plastic life? You've created an energetic biofilm, right, to protect the real you, the powerful you, the authentic you from the world, because you were taught to be fake. Because most of the politicians and a lot of your religious people and a lot of your friends are fake. Be real. Tell somebody the truth. Are you ready to tell people the truth? This is how I look. People say, "Well, Dr. B, what'd you do to your hair? Did you dye your hair?" Somebody asked me this. Is that like a platinum blonde? No, this is Dr. B's hair. One of my old friends said, "Dr. B, you should dye your hair. You need to dye your hair, man. You look old." I look old. Do you know what the white hair means? White hair means that these are now microfibers that are picking up information from the galaxy in a way that nothing else can. It's not gray, it's white. It's like the polar bear is black, but it has white hair. Why does the polar bear have white hair? Because the polar bear is sucking in the light forces, the photons from the environment to stay warm, and his skin is black. Imagine the polar bear puts on some dye because it wants to be like the brown bear or the black bear. It'll die. Did you know that? We're killing ourselves being so fake all the time. So let's start being real. Let's teach our children to be real. Be honest. Lying is a part of the system. This is a parasitic nature. It destroys society, breaks people down to the point where we can never come together because you don't know who's in the room. You don't know who you're dealing with. Who am I talking to? People get married, fake, and they fake the whole thing. They have the whole Cinderella wedding for the day, and oh boy, and you spend $50,000, $20,000, even $10,000 on the wedding when maybe we should look at taking that money and investing in something. I'm not saying don't get married if you feel like you really need to. I'm talking about the amount of money we use and spend to impress other people. This is a biofilm. That's a movie, the biofilm, starring Dr. B. It's a protective coating that parasites use. Some bacteria, some viruses use this to protect themselves from being detected. It's also a coating that people create energetically so that they could exist in this world because they feel like they're not enough when actually you are enough. You got to know you're enough. Some people have done our core experience. How many people have been to our core access experience? In fact, we'll be doing another one soon. We're going to be doing a few classes to actually teach people how to break out and find the gold mine within themselves, how to actually move towards your goals. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to invest in something like that? But you got to be real. Are you ready to be real? Or are you being reeled in? And you being caught up in a system that actually defakes you and defakes you and defiles you and rapes you to the point where you can't never become who you really need to become, and you're going to attract more fakeness because you're fake. If you're faked up and you're all out there trying to attract someone, you're going to attract more fake people. Then you want to know, well, what happened? Why was my heart broken? Because you attracted fakeness. You were plastic. Now you're like a parasite. Yes, eye doctors are making a lot of money off the eye damage. And if you knew about this, what the glue is doing to your eyes, what the makeup, there's natural versions of makeup. But we choose the cheap one, and most of the makeups got pork in them. You don't eat pork, but you got pork in your makeup because it helps to stick to your body. Once again, I'm not saying that if you have some serious, issues and challenges that you shouldn't wear makeup. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're going to need to choose things that actually enhance you on a real metaphysical level, and not just use these items and these things to create a biofilm energetically so that you could never be successful. And this was a setup. It's a chessboard. You playing checkers on the chessboard. It's a setup, y'all. Some folks say, man, Dr. B, he didn't mess with me. Now I thought this was about, the enemy, the parasites. This the enemy within. What's inside of you? What thoughts you have? What are you using that is actually creating a spell on you so that you can't reach your goals? I help people become successful. Would you like to become successful? It's one of the things that I help people do, become successful. If I'm doing a class or workshop or whatever, it's all about helping people become successful. We're going to be doing something live here in Atlanta, probably, hopefully, if it's all about the goal and if it's the will of the universe, before the end of the year, we're going to do something live. So put together your finances and come to Atlanta so we could teach folks how to break the spell and become successful. Yes, Philly Cat says sometimes most of the times, you are your own worst enemy. It's in you. It's the fake up on many levels, not just what you're wearing. It's everything, your clothes, your habits, your friends. Emotional insecurity as energetic pollution, just as microplastics and synthetic chemicals pollute the oceans and block nature's flow. Emotional insecurity pollutes our relationships and our social field. Plastic clogs the waterways of the earth. Insecurity clogs the flow of authentic human connection. Both create artificial layers that block life force and natural intelligence. What? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The root issue: disconnection from essence, authentic confidence, and I got to read this right. The root issue: disconnection from essence. Authentic confidence is not loud. It's quiet. It's quiet, certainly. It comes from knowing who you are, not how you appear. When people are disconnected from essence, they compensate with surface shine. They coat themselves physically with plastic, emotionally with pretense. just to survive in an artificial world. Now, the earth is not artificial. It is the world. The world is what you see. When they say the richest person in the world, that's the world that you're being shown. Because if you knew who the wealthiest or the richest person in the world would be, it would blow your mind. It's not them people they told you on the news that these were the richest people in the world. They're not. There are people who got so much wealth and so much money and so much land that it would just blow your mind. But they always prop something up and tell you a story based on Hollywood, based on smoke and mirrors, based on magic tricks, and the spin masters, right, are creating a world that's fake. Most of history is fake. It's not real. That didn't happen. Or it didn't happen the way they said it happened. When they tell your story, usually the story is not going to be the actual events the way they were. They're not going to be as authentic. They're going to fix it up. You ever go to a funeral from a guy who was he was rowdy and crazy and mean most of his life. And at the funeral, at the last minute, he found God. And he was a God-fearing person. It's fake. Let's tell the truth. The person was bad, no good, rotten to the core. And now they're gone. We couldn't do that. That wouldn't sound good. That would upset God. No, God, right. The real, true, universal God is looking for authenticity. Would you like to have what you like in life? You got to act a certain way, live a certain way, be a certain way. And none of us are perfect. I am not perfect. I am not perfect. And no one here is in no way perfect. But what we can do is be more authentic, more authentic and more loving and more caring. Folks call you asking for favors and they need this and they're telling their terrible story. They don't even ask you how they are. How you doing? It's all about their story. And a lot of times people got the same story. It's like a broken record. Y'all remember broken records. So they used to skip and play the same thing over and over. The healing parallel. Just as biofilm dissolves exposed hidden parasites to healing, truth, and authentic. Let me get it together, Dr. B. Just as biofilm biofilm dissolvers expose hidden parasites to healing, truth, and authenticity. Truth and authenticity dissolve emotional biofilm. Just so that you know, some people say, but Dr. B, you need to get to learn how to read. Well, they said I see things backwards and letters are mixed up. They got a name, they call it, and I do. And I don't see things the way everyone sees it. We're all different. So when you hear me, I'm challenged, and especially when stuff is so deep, my mind is traveling the world thinking about so much evidence because I'm a researcher. So forgive me if, and give me a little space if I don't read it exactly right, but I'm going to read it again. Just as biofilm dissolvers expose hidden parasites to healing, truth and authenticity dissolve emotional biofilm. Vulnerability is the solvent. Honesty is the cleansing agent. Self-acceptance is the real medicine. Once the artificial layers dissolve, life force, love, and authenticity can grow and flow freely again. Y'all feeling it? Y'all hearing what we putting down today? This is about the enemy within. Winners, right? A warrior goes into battle already having won. If you go into battle and you're faking it, and you got this whole pretense and you're not really prepared to deal with the world, and you keep talking about what the world is doing to you and what they keep doing. The question is, what are you doing to yourself? What are you wearing? What are you bathing in? What is in the bubble bath? What is the bubble bath? Have you read the ingredients in your average bubble bath? Because you want to see these bubbles and make them smell good? Go to class 4 and class 3, where I start talking about all the chemicals that we're using to try to make things quote unquote clean when actually they're dirty. Why would we be doing this? Why are so many people caught up in doing things that are causing self-harm? Toxoplasma gondii. You know, I got to talk about him in almost every class because this one right here is a deep one. Mind control and plastic consciousness. Toxoplasma gondii is a microscopic parasite known for altering behavior. It reprograms the brain of its host, dulling fear and frightening and heightening risky impulses. Did you hear that? In animals, it makes the prey approach predators. In humans, it's linked to impulsivity, addiction, and the subtle forms of self-sabotage. I am going to read it again. This is a parasite that lives in the brain that none of your regular parasite cleansers can even touch. In fact, this parasite is so powerful, it'll get you to do some things that are actually harming you when you think you're helping you. It's the mind control parasite. It helps to augment and create a plastic consciousness. Toxoplasma gondii is the microscopic parasite known for altering behavior. It reprograms the brain of its host, dulling fear and heightening risky impulses. In animals, it makes prey approach predators. What? In humans, it's linked to impulsivity, addiction, and subtle forms of self-sabotage. Most of what I've been talking about with these chemicals and the way we use them so freely, and this is the way that we live, and the fake up and the makeup and being false, this is all a part of a system, of a mindset of doing self-harm and self-sabotage that we may not have looked at because slowly over time we got into this. We got into all this stuff slowly over time, and it's what everybody's doing. So we're like sheep. The rest of the sheep are doing it. So this is what we do. This is how we do it. This is what's destroying our society. The plastic personalities, the plastic bags, the use of plastics, the biofilm, the covering up, the lying, the cheating, the faking. This is what causes us to self-destruct and implode. Like all survivalists, we're talking about toxoplasma. Like all survivalists, it hides behind biofilm, a slimy shield that protects it from detection and elimination. Inside that coating, it thrives silently, much like our mental parasites, which protect themselves with emotional biofilm, denial, distraction, and justification. Self-harm, toxic relationships, and repeating sabotage are often psychological symptoms of an energetic infection in the mind under foreign influence. Foreign influence. This toxoplasma, an alien creature that up to 70% or more of the people have, will cause you to do things mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally that causes self-harm where you're not even thinking because your emotion of disgust may be turned off. There's a lost emotion. Look it up. The lost emotion of disgust, where people, they don't even know what's disgusting anymore. Some of the things you do now, 10, 20 years ago, would be considered disgusting. 100 years ago, oh my God, what are you doing? What? And you say you're trying to survive and you're scuffling and it's tough out here. It's tough out here because you're carrying around a biofilm protective shield, which is blocking the natural energetic flow of the environment itself, of the sun, of the life, of the sky, of the cosmic forces. You are maybe caught up in habits that are what? created and being programmed into you by a parasite. This toxoplasma thing is deep. Once again, I'm going to show the book. This is your brain on parasites. How tiny creatures manipulate our behavior and shape society. I need to call this lady and let her know that I'm promoting her book. I need to find her. But I do have a book coming out on parasites, which I'm in the last chapter now. And this one is going to be amazing because the way I look at this subject, because of the way it was introduced to me, is just totally different. It's another way of thinking. What is a parasite? And what are we doing that where we're eating our own selves alive? Those of you who are just joining, you are here. We're towards the end of this class, which is the Enemy Within, class 5. I would ask you to go, please look at, classes 1 through 4, which are online now, so that you can really get this subject clear and clean in your minds. Our culture itself has been built. Our culture itself has built a biofilm of plastic consciousness, an artificial layer that covers truth, numbs emotion, and replaces authenticity with surface beauty, convenience, and conformity. Just as the parasite manipulates the individual host, plastic consciousness manipulates the collective host, steering humanity towards consumption, image, and self-destruction, all while conceiving or convincing us it's progressive. Our culture itself has been built. Let me get it right, Dr. B. Read it clear. Our culture itself has built a biofilm of plastic consciousness, an artificial layer that covers truth, numbs emotion, and replaces authenticity with surface beauty, convenience, and conformity. How many of y'all just conforming, just going along to get along? Just as the parasite toxoplasma and others, there's a few others, just as the parasite manipulates the individual host, plastic consciousness manipulates the collective host, steering humanity towards consumption, image, and self-destruction, all while convincing us it's progressive, all while convincing us it's progress. Some of this things that, we think, oh, this is progress. What? Progress towards what? Destruction? Using products, having ways and habits that are actually causing self-harm and the degradation of your energy field. This is a biofilm that we're using, just like parasites, which are hard to be detected. We use these chemicals, these ways, these habits. Even in the conscious community, I see it all day long. We throw the conscious community's got it together. We have to wake up each day and realize that we've got to atone. We got to tune up. We got to look at who we really are and who we're moving, what we really like in life. And we got to be ready to leave some friends, leave some habits, maybe, not visit some family so much, turn that phone off, stop answering it, because the phone call coming is probably fake. The news is fake news, all of it, fake politics. We're habitual. The antidote is awareness and purification, breaking the biological, physiological, and energetic films that block our natural intelligence from shining through. Is this good or is this good? We're bringing it home, y'all. Most parasite cleanses tend to address only the surface level. While they may cleanse the intestines, they often leave deeper intruders unscathed, continuing to lurk in your organs, your brain, blood, joints, nervous system, and your energetic field. The common cleanse trap. I need y'all to listen to this. Many basic cleansing formulas depend on a handful of bitter herbs such as cloves, wormwood, black walnut, pumpkin seed, papaya seeds, or diatomaceous earth, and are only effective against the common gut parasites. They may help temporarily, but they cannot reach the systemic parasites that migrate into organs and tissues. Penetrate biofilm, cyst, and blood-brain barrier. Break down fungus. This is the average cleanse out there. Break down fungus, microplastics. How do you break that down? Yeah, there's a way. Heavy metal shields. Parasites use all this as armor. Very few actual cleanses out there rebuild the body after cleansing. Many of them strip minerals and weaken the body's vitality. Did you know that the average cleanse? I'm a herbalist. I've been studying this for a long time. I've looked at all the different things around these different cleanses, and folks said I'm on a juice cleanse, and they figure I don't have no parasites. Parasites drink juice too. You're not starving them. And some of those juices are so sweet that it's nothing but a sugar drink. This subject is deep. So your average parasite cleanser says it gets rid of parasites. Do you even know what parasites are we talking about? Which ones? How many of them are there? There's thousands. They all have a different life cycle. They live differently. They act differently. And a lot of what you may be using actually is making the strong parasites stronger while making the weak ones maybe die. Somebody wants to know, is there going to be a part 6? I don't know. We're probably going to go on to a new series because there's a lot in this, the enemy within, in the art of war. Very few of your common parasite herbs address energetic or non-physical parasites. Low frequency attachments. What is a low frequency attachment? There's some creatures that are low frequency attachments, energetic cosmic parasites. Toxic thought patterns and emotional residues that drain life force. That's why so many people cleanse yet remain ill, fatigued, foggy, or spiritually disconnected. Philly Cat says, hey, I'm in the middle of the elevated body, total body program. Oh, the elevated total body program. Congratulations, Philly. Here's the difference. The elevated difference. A cleanse that rejuvenates, period. Dr. B's elevated total body program is one of the only cleanses designed to eliminate systemic and energetic parasites, those that infiltrate both the physical body and the mind, subtle energy systems governing mood, focus, and consciousness. It's a regenerative detox, not a depleting one. A lot of your detoxification programs out there, I'm telling you, they're depleting, they're stripping, and they may not be putting back what needs to be put back. Each formula purifies. This is in our elevated total body program and in our total body program. Each formula purifies and replenishes simultaneously, combining ancient botanical intelligence, emotional balance, and quantum energy activation. What makes the difference? A graduated 28-day strategy. And let me just stop there for a second. These bugs who have been here for way longer than human beings are intelligent, and they know how to evade destruction. So let's say you take your cloves, your wormwood, and your black walnut hulls, and you just put it in your mouth. You just take it. The parasites send out a message throughout the body. They're trying to kill us. They create biofilms. They hide in plastic coatings and layers, all the chemicals that you've used. They move into the tissues that are very deep. They begin to shut down the immune system and turn it off because they know you're attempting to take them out. These are master warriors. They're not simple, stupid little bugs. Nothing in nature is just dumb. We think that trees don't think, and bees and things, they don't have consciousness. They're very conscious and aware, and parasites, their thing is survival. So you've got to have a graduated 28-day program. So when people take our cleanse, like Philly Cat will tell you, you start with a certain amount of the herbs and you build up slowly. It's called hunting. Because if they realize you're trying to take them out, they'll hide. So we've got to build up to this level called critical mass, where when you're at a certain level on the 6th day, they can't run. Day 1 through 6 is very important. What makes it different? Graduated 28-day strategy, a carefully sequenced program that hunts and captures evasive systemic parasites with complex life cycles. Each stage builds upon the last, ensuring the deepest, most effective eradication possible. Systemic reach, botanicals that travel through blood, lymph, and organs to locate and eliminate hidden infestations. Biofilm disruption. This is where it gets deep. Specialized compounds and vibrational essences dissolve the protective coatings parasites build to evade the immune system. Did you hear? Microplastics, heavy metal detox, draws out synthetic residuals that block cellular communication and harbor infection. Energetic alignment clears subtle parasites, mental loops, emotional imprints, and vibrational distortions, restoring coherence and clarity. Premium flower essences. Do you even know? How many of y'all know what flower? Not essential oils, flower essences. That's a whole world and study and science within itself. Premium flower essences balance emotions and elevate consciousness to higher, calmer states. We're using some very rare botanicals. I just want to talk about mimosa just a minute. Mimosa is what is used to extract snake poison from your tissues. Huh? How would I haven't been bitten by a snake? No. But certain viruses and certain shots that were created in labs use cobra venom and other venoms. You see the way I just stopped? What are you talking about? Cobra venom, snake venom in biological weaponry. That's what a lot of these viruses and things are. Not all of them. These pandemics and plandemics, a lot of them were things, biological agents created in laboratories for population control. There's ethno-specific parasites. There's parasites that are just to kill off the enemy, to make them weaker. This is biological warfare. It's like when the Pilgrims brought the Native Americans blankets that had bubonic plague or black plague or just poisons or what they call zoonotic parasites, because these people had slept in the hull of boats with animals for months coming here from another country. And a lot of them were running from the bubonic plague and the black plague and all these different things and these diseases, and people weren't washing and cleansing, and they had lice and bugs and maggots. It was a deep, deep journey. And then they come here as, oh boy, we're here to, to find a new world. And the indigenous people here, they had no immunity against this because nobody lived with animals before like this. You didn't live with the animals in your house, because things cross from animals into people. That's another thing that we do. We don't even know the science behind that. There's a whole science with zoonotic, Yes. Look it up. Snake venom. And then there's another venom that people are using to lose weight. Do you know about the venom that's in this? What's this stuff everybody's taking to lose weight? I can't say it because, I want to cause no problem. Huh? What's the stuff, the thing that people are taking? And all of a sudden, weight just falls off because the digestive tract can't digest anymore. There's a chemical that comes from a Gila monster. Look it up. GTP1, from the venom or the saliva of a lizard called the Gila monster. Well, damn. You really want to let go of some weight, don't you? Well, you'll do anything they tell you to do just so you'll look better. You feel better. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. And what is beautiful? Being you is be you, beautiful. You're being somebody else. You're trying to be Barbie, and you don't even realize the roots of Barbie has to do with a prostitute in Europe. No, I didn't say that. I'm not supposed to go there. Okay. Mimosa helps to pull any venoms, these snake venoms and lizard venoms out of your body because you got them. Creosote bush. Does anybody know what creosote bush is? Look it up. Black pooey. What is black pooey? Black pooey is one of these plants they use in South and Central America to get rid of what they call watico, which is an energetic spiritual illness that takes over most societies and breaks them down. Yatoba. Who is familiar with Yatoba bark? That helps to break down the biofilm quickly. Suriname amargo. Prasiki tetrapilura. Tetrapilura. Patura. Some of these are hard to say. And Peruvian Marco. Do you know about these herbs? These are very rare. Powerful rainforest botanicals, rarely found together, each chosen for their ability to combat systemic parasites, microbacteria, and superbugs. This is all in the elevated and in the total body program. Essential oils amplify vibrational frequencies that disrupt systemic parasites, communication, and reproductive cycle while supporting biofilm dissolution. Quantum field light activation. Every tonic is a photon infused to raise its resonance and healing potential to the highest frequency. How you doing that, Dr. B? There's a light. And when you shine this light, it changes the frequency and the energy of anything you shine the light on. Let's do a real quick test. Check your energy level right now. We're almost done, y'all. If your energy is low, then, anywhere the low numbers, so let's say from 0 to 10, check your energy from 0 to 10 and give it a number. Check your energy, scan your body, check your energy from 0 to 10. The lower numbers, you don't have a lot of energy, you're feeling a little down, you're feeling a little. But if your energy is high, you're feeling up there, then give us your number. And we're going to see if we can use the quantum light to change that. And I'm going to show you what effect this has on all things, not just physical, energetic things, this light. This is called the quantum light. We actually have these on our website, elevationtime.com. And somebody said, oh, Dr. B, they're sold out. Oh, they are. So here's where you can go. If the light is sold out, you can go here to improveyourlife.us and just mention that Dr. B sent you. Okay, you got your energy level. All you're going to do is look into the screen. I'm going to shine the light, and we're going to show you how this works, even across distances. It's a quantum light, so it works on distances, and it brings the life force of whatever you shine it on up. So let's see how this works. You ready? Here we go. Look at the light. All right, check your energy. Has your energy changed? Be honest. And don't just say things just because it sounds good. Check your energy. All we did was flash this quantum light. What is this? This has got to do with quantum science. One of the most powerful sciences there is. We put this and shine this on every product. This is a part of the stage of actually, this is a part of the stage when we're making the programs that we shine. I gotta get clear. We're almost done. We shine this light on all of our herbal products. This is why the energy is so high, because we put photons in the product. And this goes on the cleanse, in the cleanse, and that light is held in the solutions so that we can deal deeply in the tissues with high energy effectivity at the root. Okay, good. We got to keep going because we're almost done. So we use the quantum field light activation. You can have one and put it on yourself, put it on your plants, put it on your teas, on your bath water. Just be careful with shining this on your reproductive areas, and because it will bring the energy of anything you shine it on up at least 10, maybe 20 times. Okay, good. Let's keep going. Now, in the elevated version of this cleanse, because there's a total body version, then there's an elevated one. The elevated one has 12 medicinal mushrooms, a potent fusion of ancient fungal intelligence. There's a good fungus, right? With the ability to go far beyond what herbs alone can achieve in eradicating parasites, fungus, biofilms, and microplastics. Did you hear what I'm saying? Your average herbs cannot do what they're telling you. These mushrooms, these 12 very special mushrooms in a very special formulation, and it's how you put it together. It's not just what they are, it's how you put it together and what amounts. 12 medicinal mushrooms, a potent fusion of ancient fungal intelligence with the ability to go far beyond what herbs alone can achieve in eradicating parasites, fungus, biofilms, and microplastics. Comprehensive 8-product system. 8 synergistic formulas work together to complete nutritional support, detoxification, and tissue rejuvenation. Rejuvenation. Targeted oral support. Each includes a specialized tooth powder to address parasites that retreat into the mouth during eradication. Did you hear what I said? Ensuring no hiding places remain. Did you know that when you're doing the average parasite cleanse, the parasites just go into tissues and areas where the cleanse is not? So intestinal parasite cleanses, they attack the parasites in the gut, and they work well. But the systemic parasites move throughout your body. And when you're trying to get rid of systemic parasites, a lot of them hide in the mouth. That's that taste. And you got parasites when you got that taste in the mouth and your breath is bad in the morning. Why? There's a tooth powder that helps with that. This cleanse also helps with cellular rejuvenation, infused with minerals, humic and fulvic acids. Do you know about that? I think our next series is going to be about, those. I think we're going to be talking about gold, platinum, palladium, iridium, humic, and fulvic acids. I think that's going to be our next series. I don't know what we're going to call it, but make sure you're at elevationtime.com and sign up. Oh, somebody says, Dr. B, you're not showing the discount code. Look at that. Dr. B, you're not showing the discount code. Wow, what a tone. Yes, there is a discount code. And the discount code for this weekend is class 5 altogether. You get 15% off of everything in your cart, $99 or more. It's good until Sunday at midnight. So the discount code is class 5. If you become a member at elevationtime.com, then you get 10% off of everything all the time. In fact, the prices you see as a member are already reduced 10%. And if you use this discount code and you're a member, you get an additional 15%. So that's 25% off if you're a member at elevationtime.com. And that's only until Sunday. Members, you get 10% off forever, as long as you are a member. And some folks have said, I just wanted to get that, become a member for 1 month. Then you're about to miss out on some things that only members are going to be getting, and things that only members will be invited to. And there's things in the membership panel or in the membership dashboard that's on a whole nother level. So I'd like to welcome all of you, as new members and folks who are investing in yourself. Our sale will be over on this Sunday at midnight. And this Sunday, this is the 11th. So that's October the 12th at midnight. Let's finish up. So in this cleanse, it includes whole body. It creates whole body harmony, supports the liver, the heart, kidneys, gut, brain, endocrine system, the nervous system, while balancing the emotional body, creating an internal terrain where parasites cannot thrive. The result: this isn't just a cleanse. It's a total biological and energetic upgrade. Your energy rises, focus sharpens, mood steadies, creativity awakens, your body feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your spirit vibrant and fully aligned. Cleanse deeper, rebuild stronger, elevate higher. Dr. B's elevated total body program, the systemic, energetic, and biological solution for a new you. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. This is the Elevated Total Body Program, which is at elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com. This is going to help you with your plastic personality. It's going to help to dissolve some of the biofilm and the plastic particles and the heavy metals and the chemicals and the waste of parasites that are systemic throughout the system. This is the best of the best. And this is how we really effectively uncover and outwit the devil within, the enemy within. So it's on sale right now, right? It's on sale, but then you also get 15% off by using the discount code, and you get another 10% off by becoming a member at elevationtime.com. Iron Essential is very important for iron. Without iron, you don't have the courage to take off the mask. When you have enough iron in your body, you're courageous. You don't care what other people think. You're living the life you came to live. Heaven on Earth. This helps to relax the nervous system so you can be calm and cool as you go through the storm of change and the energy of changing your life from where you were to where you'd like to go. This really works well for the nervous system and invites You being balanced, even when other people around you are causing challenges. Passion elixir. This one helps you have passion about your new self, about your new life. Be passionate about your creativity, what you're learning, what you're doing, and who you are. When you become passionate about your life, you start minding your business and get out of other people's business and stop letting them and the way they live. If they're living a plastic fake life, you don't have to do it. You don't have to join, but you got to be strong and passionate about what you love and love yourself first. It's great for lovers. Focus. Focus on your life. This particular tonic really helps people get clear and stay on what it is they're doing. So passion helps you become passionate. Focus, it gives you laser focus so that you know now how to live the best life possible. Okay. Yes, people in couples and people who are mating, it would be best if you do the cleanse together so you don't have cross contamination. I can guarantee if you haven't done this program, you've never done anything like this before. And the tonics taste good. It's not hard to do, but there is a 28-day sequence. And also, if you're dealing with any major illnesses, or if you'd like to go to your highest level, you do the cleanse 3 times in a row. That's 3 28-day periods. Your body has a biorhythm of 28 days. That's why the cleanse has to go for 28 days to interrupt all the different life cycles of the parasites. So you have things like focus, passion elixir, heaven on earth, iron essential. These are all extras and add-ons to your cleanse. These are not in the program. Okay. Platinum life monatomic elixir. This is the real pineal activator. We don't have time to get into this. I think our next series is going to be about these elements, these monoatomic elements that actually take you to a whole nother level. Once you've detoxed, now you've got to recreate yourself. And you need that energy coming in from the cosmos more clear. This is cosmic medicine, but it also helps you live longer. It helps you feel younger, more clear. Platinum is a whole thing, and we created this along with Dick Gregory. But the pineal gland is one of the things that was calcified and plasticized from bioplastics. Yeah, all those, and the biofilm and all that. It's sticking and adhering to the pineal gland and the glands in your head. Yes, this stuff is amazing. It's the best of the best. So come and join us. Elevation Time. That's where you find Dr. B's Natural Solutions. It is our highest choice that you make the highest choice and invest in yourself at the highest level and the move towards wealth and wholeness and be more balanced. Sign up at our website for our newsletter at elevationtime.com. Also, if you'd like to become a member, receive 10% off. And if you'd like to use the discount code, it will be good until Sunday at midnight. And we're going to have, we're not sure the title of our next series. So this ends our Enemy Within series. Please, if you haven't checked it out, there are 4 other classes online. This is something that, you could take and study this and listen to it and go do your own research. It's elevation time. I'd like to thank all of you for being here. I'd like to thank the staff of Elevation Time for helping to support this. They are the ones sponsoring this. And I'd like to thank all of you for being your better self and moving towards the highest level. Let's break free. Let's break free from the biofilm, mental, physical, spiritual biofilm, and the plastic life. Let's get real. Let's break the enemy within. Let's take the enemy within. It's time to conquer the enemy within. Much love. I'll see you all soon. Next week, we're going to have another class. I think it's going to be next week. So make sure you're at elevationtime.com. Get on the email list so that you can know when these classes come, and travel light. Most of the luggage, most of the plastic, most of the biofilm, and most of the parasites are not yours, and they're not your fault. It's time to climb. Time to let them go so that you can find and create your destiny. Let's go. Also, I almost forgot. We're going to have a question and answer session coming up soon. So make sure you're on the email list so we can answer some questions, because there's lots of questions about this class, and there's a lot that came up. So we're going to have that session coming up soon, and also we're going to be doing something here live in Atlanta. So if you're in the Atlanta area, if you're going to be here, we're going to do a couple things that are amazing. So question and answer session. And if you'd like a personal consultation or group consultation, go to elevationtime.com and go to sales@elevationtime.com. That's our email, sales@elevationtime.com, where you can get a consultation, a personal consultation, a group consultation, or even a VIP day where we travel together and we go shopping together and we hang out and we talk about your personal issues and your goals in life and help to reset your system and do balancings and clear some of the mental, physical, and energetic parasites. If you're interested in that, go to sales. Just email us at sales@elevationtime.com so we can create a schedule and the time for you to have your own personal VIP day, or just do a consultation if that's something that you desire. Much love to you all. Travel light.